Quite a lot has happened this week in the world of athletics, including the New York Adidas Grand Prix, where David Rudisha made his second return to athletics after 1 year in injury. Let's catch up with what's making headlines this week in the world of athletics. Describing his injury period as hell, world record holder David Rudisha won his first race in more than a year at the 2014 Adidas Diamond League in New York. A week after finishing 7th at the portend Classic, Rudisha posted 1 minute 44.63 seconds to win 800 meters, beating Mark English into second and Dwayne Solomon into third. Meanwhile, World Championship medalist Ibrahim Jeland and Almaz Ayana were among high-profile winners at the Ethiopian Championships in Addis Ababa. Steeplechasers Etenesh Diro, middle distance runners Fantu Mugishu and Mantek Bosch Melese lost their specialty events. Ethiopia selected more than 36 runners for the Africa Championship in Morocco later in the year. Elsewhere, world and Olympic champion Mo Farah will be seeking to add the 5,000 and 10,000 meter titles to his Commonwealth titles after being drafted into the British athletics team for the Commonwealth Games. This comes as Ugandan Olympic and world champion in marathon Moses Kiprotich pulled out of the Commonwealth Games. Well, the track season in the 2014 athletics season has just begun. In fact, it did begin in Doha, Qatar in May. And have we not seen a lot of talking points so far? And just to put that in perspective, I am going to have Njoroge Githinji, who is a sports reporter in Kenya, to put that in perspective. Njoroge, yes. Good to see you and welcome to Setting the Pace.
Thank you so much, Sadiq.
In just one word, how has the season been so far?
I think it has not been explosive as we should have expected. It seems as if the athletes are hiding what we call the cards, waiting for the major championships. Very
well. So, the season has just begun. Quite a number of championships have already begun. But what is the status of the 2014 season in athletics so far? The 2014 athletics season started with Kenyan athletes continuing their dominance in cross-country, track, and in road races. In March, Kenyans made a clean sweep of all the titles at the 3rd African Cross-Country Championships in Uganda, led by reigning World Junior Cross-Country Champion Faith Kipyegon. Shortly afterwards, athletes from Kenya dominated the 22nd edition of the IAAF World Half Marathon Championships, taking individual goals for both men and women, winning the women's team title by overwhelming margin and taking the silver medal in the men's team competition. London Marathon was reduced into a Kenyan affair with world record holder Wilson Kipsang and two-time runner-up Edna Kiplagat winning the event. Kipsang set a world record time of 2 hours, 4 minutes and 29 seconds to win ahead of compatriot and former Paris Marathon record holder Stanley Biwott, with Segai Kebede of Ethiopia relegated to 3rd. World Marathon champion Edna Kiplagat saw a strong challenge from Berlin Marathon winner Florence Kiplagat to win the women's title with a late sprint to claim victory. Ethiopian and Kenyan athletes have so far shared the spoils in the ongoing IAAF Diamond League series that kicked off in May in Doha, Qatar. Notably, Kenya's Ellen Obiri set the fastest outdoor time in 23 years and broken both the Kenyan and African records by running 3,000 meters in a time of 8 minutes 20.68 seconds. But perhaps the most outstanding performance of the 2014 track season so far has been that of the Kenyan world record-setting performance at the just concluded IAAF World Relays in Bahamas. Kenyan women team broke their own 4x1500 meters world record by 7 seconds to post 16 minutes 33.58 seconds for gold medal and world record, while their male counterparts lowered the world record by an impressive 14 seconds. Well, that is just half the story, Njoroge. And yes, even as we sit here, perhaps the story is being rewritten as we're having this conversation at the moment.
True. Because the season, true, it has begun. We saw the world relays. It was a good experience, especially for the Kenyan athletes setting world records. But it's in the Diamond League that we've seen so many things that we never expected, especially from the elite athletes, especially in the face of someone like Shelley Fraser. We expected her to really dominate the Diamond League. We have not seen the best of her in the last ones. We also saw some Kenyans also struggling at the Diamond League. We expected someone like Mboy to be really strong this season, especially how he ended last year. But we're also seeing the emergence of other athletes in Kenya, like if you look at Jairus Birechi is becoming a household name in Kenya at the expense of people like Kemboi. We also don't know what is happening to Asbo Kiprop, having dominated the track last year in the metric mile. We're not seeing him anymore. I don't know what is happening with that.
And we of us also have had fantastic opening competitions this year. We had the World we had the World Indoor Championship where Kenya won some medals. We've had the World Half Marathon where Kenya swept the boards.
Exactly.
Would you say 2014 has started on what note, perhaps, for Kenyans?
For Kenyans, it's a very good year, and it's a very good build-up to the main one this year, which is the Commonwealth Games. And I think having watched how they did, especially even from the cross-country championships, I think we are headed somewhere.
Apart from that, Njoroge, looking at the track season that began in Doha, just basically the track that started in Doha up to this particular point, what perhaps two major talking points for you?
From the Kenyan perspective, from Doha, actually six leagues have just elapsed, and I think Sum has stood. When she won the Worlds in Moscow, everyone thought, where is she coming from? Beating the likes of Savinova at home, nobody would have expected, and even nobody gave her a chance. And she has gone to prove that winning in the Worlds was not just by fluke, and she has really stood. Maybe the return of this American lady, the former 200 meters champion, Alison Felix, her return, and we hope that she's going now to come back, although she has not won anything since coming from injury. And also Julius Yego, the Kenyan javelin thrower. I think this is something phenomenal in the building.
The 2014 Diamond League season began in Doha and ends in September. But so far, we have seen quite a number of events producing a lot of talking points, like Njoroge mentioned earlier. So far, we've had Doha concluded 2014, Shanghai 2014, Prefontaine Classic in Oregon in the United States, which produced perhaps the biggest talking point so far. Golden Gala in Rome, seeing the return of the Dibaba sister. There, after skipping a number of Golden League events, ExxonMobil Bislett Games, where, like Njoroge said, Julius Yego throwing a fantastic season opener, and Adidas Grand Prix in New York, also producing quite a lot of talking points. We also have other events coming up in the Diamond League. It's just begun, so we're still having Atletisma in Lausanne coming up, Meeting Areva in Paris, Sainsbury in Glasgow, England, and in July, Hercules in Monaco, Dian Gallen in Stockholm, Sainsbury in Birmingham, Wet Class Zurich in August, and the last series of the 2014 Diamond League, that is going to be the Memorial Van Damme in September. Njoroge, we just to touch really very key on that. We haven't seen Usain Bolt so far. Where is Usain Bolt?
He's not the only one. We were wondering, where the last time we learned about him was about the injury that was like hidden. It was not even put in media. And what we could read is that we only saw him in an appearance. You remember the public appearance in a basketball match
with Serena Williams.
And I was wondering, does he want to change the discipline and maybe get in? And you even remember him saying that he'd want to be a Manchester United player. But on the serious note is that we expect now Bolt to come back.
And Bolt has withdrawn from a number of events this season. And how long should the world wait before we see Bolt, in your opinion?
We waited for a whole year for another one, David Rudisha of Kenya, and I think it's a good break for the other guys for the 100 meters people to breathe, because he doesn't give them a chance to. And
the IAAF Diamond League is just one continuous event. We also have a number of key events that are coming up in the world. We have the World Junior Championship that is going to be held in Oregon. We have the Commonwealth Games that is coming up in Glasgow. We have the IAAF Continental Cup, Jepkosgei, that is going to be in Marrakesh. We also have the Youth Olympic Games that is coming up, as well as the Asian Games, just among the competition. Which of these perhaps you think is going to be absolutely fantastic for you, considering, again, we're going to see the likes of Mo Farah in Glasgow?
Well, to be very honest, I would have wanted to see how Kenyans, if you have learned something against the Ethiopians, but now Ethiopia is not part of the Commonwealth Games, and so we still expect Kenyans to do very well in the 5,000 meters discipline, especially Cherono. She has been very, very, very fantastic, winning easily at the trials.
I can see you smiling when mentioning Cherono.
Cherono, she's very good, and I want her to beat Dibaba.
Well, to be fair, she indeed beat Dibaba in Doha. In Doha, and just hold on to that thought, because I couldn't help seeing the smile in your face when you were speaking about Cherono.
She's adorable. You would want to watch her. Not she brings out something that we call. She can relate to us as journalists, even when you interview her after winning. She's so nice to talk to.
Why don't we listen to her, Jepkosgei, as you maintain that smile, hopefully. Mercy Cherono, the silver medalist from the World Championship last year in Moscow, speaks to us here exclusively on setting the pace, and a host of other athletes about how their season has started so far and what they expect for the remaining part of 2014.
The season is actually really good, long. We're having the Africa Championships, we're having the Commonwealth, the World Cup in athletics, and of course the relays, the World Relays in Bahamas.
I started this season in Doha, 3,000 meters, and I was second. I started with my personal best, and I hope that I'm going to do my best in the coming races.
I started my season at Doha, Qatar, and I ran my personal best for this season, 8:04. And I'm happy for that.
To be sincere, I've started the season quite well, and running 3:29.1 at the beginning of the season is kind of pleasing, and looking forward to maintaining the same level and setting the pace all day.
I can say that I've started well because I ran under 2:00, which I didn't expect actually, but I know good things are yet to come in front there. I never ran actually in Moscow because of an injury, but right now I'm okay. I'm coming back slowly by slowly. I cannot say that I'm in the top shape, but considering that I cannot rush on my training because of injuries, and also I have young people coming up, so I cannot really follow them in many things as before. So my leg is okay now, and I'm happy to run 2:00 indoor was a good achievement for me.
It takes a very strong athlete to be at the top all the way in such a long season, such a busy schedule, and it needs determination and lots of focus. I have no doubt that I'm going to give my best to see that I tackle the season well.
Personally, I'm trying to lower my personal best. Then I'm yet to go for the trials for the Commonwealth and the African Games.
I will try my best to run a personal best this year, under 8, because now I'm not going for any championship, anything. So my focus on to run for Diamond League.
My fans are really hopeful that I am capable of breaking the world record in the 1500. But with me personally, I don't want to put much pressure on myself to say that I want to go for the world record this day. I really want it to happen when it is the right time to happen. Although I haven't been mentioning of Monaco, running faster in Monaco, it's because it's a favorable place ideal place for a middle distance athlete. And the 1500, whenever an athlete runs there, he comes up with a personal best or a sensational time. So my focus is actually to try and perfect my time in Monaco, although I'm not announcing the world record.
Apart from the World Championship title, I am eyeing the Commonwealth and the Africa Championship because I like the 2 medals.
I think I'm now a record holder because to miss in 100 seconds I'm a record holder. The mistake I do in Monaco that 2 years ago, I think I will not repeat it again. I didn't calculate the last barrier properly. That is why I jump in 2 legs, then the record is gone. So for me, I hope this year I will do something.
Now that we do not have some events like World Championships, we are having the Commonwealth Games and the World Cup in athletics. I really want to perfect this one. If I am to win, I have to win more races than I did before in the other years. I'd like to personally. I love to try and strive not to lose any race, and if I lose, it's by luck.
I'm looking for a record because I'm almost there. But I'm looking for this year, if my body is okay. For now I'm okay, I will do it.
I'm glad you're still having that Mercy Cherono smile, Njoroge.
Well, I
and
did
you don't
struggle.
seem to be struggling.
I did struggle, but it's true, as you've seen, you've talked to her and you've seen how she's the modern athlete. She knows how to conduct her business on the track, and also to the journalist, and that's what we say a complete athlete.
And importantly, Asbel Kiprop also saying that he wants the world record in Monaco, in one of the diamond leagues in Monaco. You think he's going to achieve the 16-year-old record and break it, Njoroge?
Well, Asbel has been blowing hot and cold, and it's so unfortunate that he might not be he's not going to go to Glasgow after what he claimed as burnout.
He's skipping Commonwealth Games to be able to focus on the world record in Monaco.
I think he has what it takes. On a good day, Kiprop can do anything. If he has reserved his energy, he can do it. Remember what he has done. He has been in blistering form at some point, and I think we can look forward to a new world record in 1500 meters.
And Athletics Kenya, the national federation in Kenya, also acknowledging that this is going to be a very tough season for the Kenyan athletes, and this is how they look at the season in 2014.
This year we are looking forward to Commonwealth Games as well as African Championships. In our Commonwealth Games, in 1 month's time, we are going to be in Glasgow, Scotland, and thereafter, 10 days later, we are going to be in Marrakesh, Morocco for African Championships. Not only that, it is tough for us because we would like to have as many Kenyan athletes as possible to represent Africa in the Continental Cup. That also will be held in Marrakesh in September. So you can see the year is so busy for us, and we must prepare good athletes, and I believe we have good athletes that will bring us a lot of fame in this country. Yeah.
We have just begun the 2014 track season, and we asked members of the public their expectations about this season, considering a number of events, high-profile events that are coming up in 2014.
Kenya kwa michezo ya Commonwealth zinakuanga mbele sana. Kenya ni nchi ambayo imebarikiwa na mambo ya mbio, kushinda mpira. Kwa hivyo definitely Kenya itafanya vizuri.
Kenya itaperform vizuri na italeta kikombe hapa Kenya. Ile kikombe mzuri. Najua wasichana watajaribu kwa namba 1 walete kikombe wao, na vijana pia watajaribu walete kikombe wao.
Kulingana na maoni yangu, naona Kenya inaweza shinda. Hata kama sio kila position zote zitakapokuwepo, lakini nyingi sana Kenya inaweza shinda. Manake kama kawaida zile mashindano zote hizi za IAF whatever, Kenya kumekuwa ikishinda. Nyingi yazo imekuwa ikishinda. Kwa hivyo sioni vile itakosa hii pia.
Kenya wako smart. Wako smart because all the time wanaenda huwa wanakam na gold.
Welcome back to Setting the Pace. We are glad you are still watching. Njoroge,
Yes.
we mentioned stuff about a number of athletes, and one of the things I know Mercy Cherono likes so much is listening to gospel music. What's your taste in music?
My taste in music is diverse, but I just like rumba. Rumba is my favorite
What's your
genre.
favorite tune?
It's by Madilu, it's called Inzele.
Just give me a touch of it.
I'm not a good singer, I'm just
try
a
it.
listener.
Just try.
I can only hum, I don't know. I don't understand the...
Fine, hum it out.
it's tough.
Well, I'm not so sure if Jepkosgei is going to hum to any song about Madilu, but here is a former world champion in 800 meters, gracing our personal best segment this week.
My favorite food is pizza. My favorite fashion style is diesel jeans. My cheapest thing is my necklace. I bought it with 18,000. I can say that. One thing people doesn't know about me is I'm not a bad person. A place where I've really traveled and I really like is Italy. That is where I've been based for many years. People are friendly and we are starting to understand the language. I don't know, no way. I'm good in health. My favorite model of a car is BMW X5. My first race ever was in Nigeria, All African Games, and first money I won was, I think, 200,000.
Joroge, I think I'm also going to be hamming up my links here on the studio. Just the way you did. But thank you so much indeed, Joroge.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much. And again, I'm always available and I can come.
Well, what if you wanted to know more about the sport of athletics? We are giving you a chance to put your questions directly to our elite athletes. If you ever had any question, anything you wanted to know about the sport of athletics, Setting the Pace gives you an opportunity to be able to ask our athletes questions of your choice. Like this question that came from one of our viewers this week about the 3,000 meters steeplechase.
Kwa kile mimi nataka nijue ile steeple, ile 3,000 steeplechase inarukwa mara ngapi alafu mpaka race inaisha.
Going over the barriers plus the water jump 35 times. Of course, 28 times in the other barriers and then 7 times on water jump.
Well, if you have any question whatsoever about the world of athletics and the athlete perhaps you would like to answer your question, please do not hesitate, get in touch with us. Our Twitter handle is @Zuku Sports and we'll be able to hear from you. Alternatively, you could also watch us on YouTube and the address is at the bottom of your screen. Get to watch the episodes on YouTube and get to interact with us by leaving comments on YouTube and we'll be happy to look at them and oblige. Many thanks indeed for watching this episode of Setting the Pace here on Zuku Sports. On behalf of the team here, my name is Sadiq Shaban. Goodbye for now.